Good morning and welcome to day 28 of my 30-day backpack adventures through the Southern Sierra. So it's probably getting close to 8:30, so I'm definitely late getting out of camp this morning, but I took some extra time to film a video walkthrough of how I organize myself in my tent and how I pack up for the day. I think I'll put that in a separate video and link it somewhere here when I'm done. But today, I have a 2.5 mile hike up to the top of Silver Pass, and then it's another 6 miles, mostly downhill with some uphill at the end to just above Virginia Lake. There's camping restrictions around Virginia Lake, so you can't get too close. Little birdie! I just love how the scenery is constantly changing on this trail. That's what I love about the Sierras. Constant changing scenery. I just exchanged haze from the fire reports with another random hiker going from the other direction. So, sounds like today is pretty clear so far, which would be great. I don't mind a little campfire smell, but if it gets too smoky, it just gets all up in your lungs and makes you cough, and it's just not fun. So, here's hoping for a clear day. I hope they're getting that fire under control for the sake of all my JMT friends trying to get down to Happy Owls, because I think it's still questionable at this point. I love it when you're climbing some giant hill and then you get these pretty little level spots to catch your breath. So nice. And then you can look up and see the mountains around you. And yeah, it's nice. Getting up there. Look at this pretty little meadow. This little stream down there. I don't know if you can hear it. So cute. I think I just met my soul sister down there. We had all the same clothes on, but different colors. Her glasses were cooler though, I gotta say. Bye-bye, mystery sister. Rock on. Alright, here we go. More hikers. So I gotta say, as my trip winds down here, I'm thinking I'm probably not gonna see anybody else I know on the trail, because everybody that I know has passed me and is ahead of me now. In the beginning of a trip like this, a long trip like this, you know, people always ask, you know, what do you think about? Well, in the beginning, it's all logistics. It's all just very visceral, like, you know, what am I gonna eat? Where am I gonna sleep? Where am I gonna go to the bathroom? I need mosquito spray. I need sunscreen. What am I doing for lunch? What am I doing for breakfast? I mean, where am I going today? Where am I resting today? Where's lunch today? It's just very in the moment. Every day that you wake up and you're out here in the middle of nowhere with just this stuff on your back, dealing with the weather and the trail and the pains and whatever else life throws at you out here, you just have to be in the moment. I'm a mom. I've raised kids. They're grown now. They're out of the house. But I still have a husband and, you know, jobs, and my dad. I have to kind of take care of my dad because he's a little bit out of it. So, you know, I'm kind of a caregiver. And to be able to get out here and just worry about myself for a month, and I know that sounds really kind of selfish the way that sounded right now, but to just come out here by myself with all the elements, just being dropped into this other world and experiencing it and not having to worry about anyone else really, other than whatever trail friend I may meet along the way. But you know, those relationships are fleeting. You really just need to, you really just worry about yourself out here. So that's kind of refreshing. Yeah, maybe, you know, I get a text message or 2 or 3 pretty much every day from my hubby, which is good because I get to, you know, find out a little about what's going on in the outside world, but I don't worry about it much, and I can't focus on it much because it's more important not to starve or die of hypothermia out here. So it's much easier to just push back on things like, wait till I get back. You know, so that's a real, it's a real delight to be able to do that. I highly recommend this to anyone who has the gumption and the wherewithal, and you know, who can carve a month out of their life and cobble together some equipment and come out here. It's just so great. It gets you back to basics and what's important in life. I don't worry about politics, the economy, price of gold, the stock market. I don't care, you know, and it's nice to not care, because when I get back, I'm gonna care about all that stuff. But for now, I don't have to. And it's just about the people I meet, the trail that day, and just whatever happens. So if you can come out here and do something like this, I recommend it. Sometimes when you just randomly sit down on a rock to take a break, that's when the best views emerge. You know, I think that Selden Pass in the distance, that sort of low saddle, I don't know if you can see the mountains behind the mountains, but it's amazing how far I've come. So, this may look like the top of Silver Pass, but Silver Pass is one of those evil passes with a double top. So this is not the top, it is the fake top, and the real top is up there. Well, you can see the smoke for sure. It's a little hazy over there. Oh, and a snow patch. And where we came from. This is it, folks. This is the real pass. And there's a prairie dog on that rock over there. Whoop, he ran away. I scared him. Oh my goodness. There's the Instagram spot, which I'm gonna pass up this time. But I am gonna find a nice rock to sit on. Let's see. Here we go. Oh yeah, I want to catch snow. Good thing I don't have to cross it. This is a great rock. It's flat and it's high enough. Oh, yes, made it. Silver Pass, everyone. Beautiful little lake down below. And my reward for getting to the top is the Fiber One oats and chocolate bar. Yum, yum, yum. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, I changed my mind about the Instagram spot. I couldn't help myself. I climbed up here. There's where we're going. And yeah, it's pretty hazy in there. That must be one heck of a fire. There we go. And here's my little pack. And this is where we came from. Okay, so I've seen a ton of hikers hiking in the opposite direction today. I guess it's because we're getting closer to Mammoth and Red's Meadow, and that's a big entry point for a lot of people for trips all over the region. So yeah, gotta get used to sharing the trail. The convention is, though, whoever's going uphill gets the right of way. I think it's because you've got your head down and you're suffering so hard. And for the downhill people, it's much easier for them to stop and step aside and just like not break the momentum, which makes sense. So yeah, if you're huffing and puffing uphill, you know, it's customary for people to step aside for you. Just FYI. Goodall Pass and Lake of the Lone Indian. Apparently this is also the Cascade Valley Trail. It might be fun to do someday, just not today. It's Red's Meadow direction for me, but not going to Red's Meadow. So at Muir Trail Ranch, one of the girls who works there had a laptop and it had a big old picture of a missing hiker on it, and she's passing it around asking if anyone had seen this guy. And he was an older gentleman, dark blue, navy, sun shirt, and I don't know, nothing else really distinguished. I mean, he looked like a couple of guys that I had passed like in the last day or so, but I couldn't really remember or place them. There was just nothing specific enough about him that I could remember or be helpful. So I hope he turns up, you know, for the sake of his loved ones and everything. But it did get me thinking. So earlier today, I passed this guy on the trail a little while ago. He had on this Hawaiian shirt with those old style surfer station wagons like all over it. Palm trees, surfboards, old cars, the works. It was a very distinctive shirt. And he even had an old school external frame backpack. And I said, that's an awesome shirt. And I said, if you ever get lost, you know, that's a good shirt to be wearing because people will remember it. I'm kind of partial to my sort of 70s inspired disco-ish print myself. It is unique. I haven't seen anything else like it on the trail. Not to mention my crazy hiking getup. So, you know, hopefully if I were lost, people would remember me. Look how fast some people just hike up these hills. Just boom, 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 boom. I'm kind of envious of that. Meanwhile, look at this beautiful little lake. Gotta find out what the name is. It might be Squaw Lake, I'm not sure. Again, we'll have to check the map. If I can only talk to Google. Hi. Alright, we're gonna cross this and get some water. The left side looks easier. I was just gonna stop and get water here, but then I realized what a fabulous place to sit and wash my feet and give them a little soak and have lunch. And I've seen a ton of other people come by. I mean, there's probably been 10 people who've come by while I've been sitting here to cross this creek. And yeah, so I'm just gonna hang out for a little bit. I mean, it's kind of pointless to wash my little calves and feet because they'll be dirty again in a matter of minutes, but it does feel nice for a while, and the cold water really does help my feet. So yeah, snacks, foot therapy, water, life is good. Goodbye, awesome little lunch spot. You've been just perfect. On we go. Yeah, it's really pretty smoky. I can barely see that distant mountain. Wow, check out the green on this rock. So interesting. It's another cute little bridge. Old but sturdy. Let's see, beautiful meadow this way. And beautiful creek this way. And beautiful trail this way. Perfect. Not that many mosquitoes. Shouldn't say that, they'll probably come right out. So sitting around the campfire the other night at VVR, I learned a little bit more about the origins of everyone's trail names. So Team Zero, for example, Captain Uber I'd already heard. He likes to Uber wherever he goes. I learned that the girl in their group, her name is 200 Yards. And I might mangle this story a bit, but apparently when she was first dropped off at Campo near the trailhead, you know, she was looking for where to start, and she went into some burn area. There was a fire. Basically went 200 yards in the wrong direction before finally finding her way. And then Bearf, which is the G-rated name for this nicest young man you can imagine. Really wanted to know how he got his name. Well, it turns out his original trail name was Bear Trowel because he had one of those metal trowels hanging on his pack, and it clattered around like a bear bell, and so I guess somebody started calling him Bear Trowel. Well, when he met Captain Uber was pretty much, that name sucks, and he could never remember it. But for some reason he could remember Bearf. So Cougar Bait, you know his story. Well, apparently maybe a day or two after he met me in the Horseshoe Meadows camping area, he met these two other girls, and they all started hiking together. So one's name is Solo Yolo, and that's because she likes to hike solo, and her name is Yolanda, and you only live once. So all that together makes her Solo Yolo. And then the other one, she's got to have one of my favorite names of the trail this year, Cathole 10. And they were actually you know, trying to settle on a name for her. Before she had been Florida, because that's where she's from. But I think by the end of the night, Cathole 10 was her name, and I think she was owning it. So apparently she was out in the woods taking care of business, if you know what I mean, and she dropped her iPhone 10 into said business. So, you know, use your imagination. I'm sure somehow she got it cleaned off because I saw her using it. But yeah, Cathole 10. And then this other name came up, 15 foot. And this was funny because 15 foot came up with Mike the Trail Angel. I asked Mike the Trail Angel, who gave me the ride in Lone Pine, I said, who's the weirdest person you've had in the car so far? And 15 foot was his answer. And this guy is carrying a 15-foot garden hose, but he won't tell anyone why. So, hello, how are you?
Hello.
So there was another hiker at the campfire who is actually an employee this summer of VVR. And he came through, and she'd heard about him, and she was really looking forward to meeting him, because apparently he's notoriously the weirdest person on the trail. So she's like, hey, you know, I have some theories about why you're carrying this hose. Do you mind if I run them past you? And he's like, no, sure. So she had 3 theories. And the first one was, I think, something to the effect that he lost someone he loved, you know, and he was carrying, you know, the hose in memory of that person to lay it at the border of Canada or something. I don't know. Probably mangled that too. No, that wasn't it. Then she had a second one. She wouldn't tell us what it was, probably because it was too close to the truth. And then the third one, apparently she guessed exactly why he was carrying the hose. But she was sworn to secrecy and she would not tell us what it was. So, 15 foot, if you ever see this, your secret is safe with left hand. So, gotta give her credit for that. And of course, high five. It's pretty obvious. He just high fives everyone. All right, so I guess that about covers the trail name section of this vlog today. The creek! So cute! Oops, I guess this is actually the Cascade Valley Trail. That might be fun to do someday. On to Tully Hole. Can't wait to see what that is. Wow, look at this nice bridge. Whew. Smoky. Alrighty, on we go. I think this is where the uphill portion of my day begins. And it's so hot. For the views, for the views. This is why we suffer. This is a good breeze for now. I need to sit. So McGee Pass is up this way. And Purple Lake, Virginia Lake, Mammoth Lakes this way. Such a pretty meadow. It's really hot going up this hill, so I sat down next to this stream and wet my bandana and put it around my neck, and look at this view! So pretty! Okay, wet bandana around my neck, dripping down into my shirt. Ready to tackle this hill. Woohoo! Look at this view! Even though it's hazy, it's still beautiful. And more hill to come. So I think I may have just heard a baby mountain lion. It sounded kind of like a girl screaming, except that it didn't. And that's what I've been told it sounds like. I don't know. But it was far enough down the mountain that I'm not too worried about it. Still, I think I'll get going. I think this might be the top of the hill. We're almost the top of the hill. On my way to Virginia Lakes. Or lake, singular. So, nice cool breeze, shade. Pretty awesome hiking weather, honestly. The haze isn't so bad, just smells like camping. Virginia Lake! Now I just need to find a place to camp. A good place to camp. So pretty. I think I found my spot for the night. It's back from the trail, and it's also back from the water. But I can walk over and see it. So the basic tent is up. I'll do the fly later before bed, and the next step is to throw everything into the tent where it'll be safe from rodents. Sometimes at the end of the day, before I even bother to organize the tent, I just lay out the Z-rest, stretch out, and take a nap. That sounds like a good plan. Now it's just time to execute. So I have seen a ton of hikers hopping. Where's the good light? I mean, excuse me. Blah!